I normally don't cook dinner.
Carbohydrates and protein.
Like a bunch of little fruit.
My late night snack.
It's my last big meal. But I now understand the importance of, dude, if I'm not fueling my body correct, I'm not going to be able to push as hard as I can.
Okay, good morning. It's a little past 5 right now. Closer to 5:30, 5:45 because it takes a while to film the mornings. In front of me, I have a already partially eaten banana with peanut butter and honey. This is my pre-run meal. As you guys know, I like the calories, I like the carbs, and the quick access to carbs because of the honey, and it's light on my stomach, but I really am thinking about changing this meal to getting another easier digestible carbohydrate before my run because I don't really feel this banana with peanut butter as like that fulfilling, like literally filling up my muscles. I feel like I can feel that if I have an easier digestible carbohydrate meal. And the only one that I can really think of, I haven't done enough research, is rice, but I eat rice once or twice a day, so I don't think I want to switch that up to having a third meal of rice potentially for breakfast. So if you have any other easy digestible carb meals for breakfast, please let me know. Today's workout, it is a 8-mile tempo run. Really try and get that heart rate up to about 170 and hold it there if I can. Today we're not going to wear the heart rate monitor because we're filming, but on normal days I really try and push and hold about 165 to 170 for that heart rate.
We are about 2 miles into our 8-mile tempo run, and we're feeling okay. It's always difficult when you gotta stop and film the whole thing to actually keep your pace, but we're doing the best that we can. Ultra prep, however, I'm very happy with how this prep is going. I've probably only missed 2 or 3 runs, and they've been on vacation, but I've learned so much, not just about my fitness as a whole, but also the mindset and mentality that it takes to do this. How it genuinely takes a mindset which can be built, but if you don't do it right now, it won't happen later. If I don't hit my run today, it's not gonna happen tomorrow. And that mindset I've had, and it's carried me to crush ultra prep so far.
Happy like you. I wanna be happy, I do. I wanna feel slightly like you. I wanna be happy like you. I wanna be happy like you. I wanna be happy, I do. I wanna feel slightly like you. I wanna be happy like you.
Okay, we are approaching mile 6 of our 8-mile tempo run. This is our last tempo mile, and normally what I like to do on my last tempo mile is try and hit ChatGPT says a 10K pace, so I pretty much just try and maintain a heart rate of 170 to 175. Today I didn't break my heart rate monitor, so I'm just going to push the fastest that I can whilst filming and really try and just shovel down this last mile, because my mindset is when you're tired, that's when you make the growth. That's when your body's uncomfortable, and that's when you really grow into the runner that you want to become. Post-run, feeling solid right now. The recovery tip that I really wanted to share with you that I don't want to forget about is after my runs, I will sit down and I will take about 2 to 5 minutes, mostly closer to like 2 or 3 minutes, I would say, to just take deep breaths and try and lower my heart rate. I do something called the physiological sigh. It's basically where you take 2 deep breaths through your nose and then 1 long, like 5 to 10 second exhale out your mouth. And this is supposed to lower your heart rate. And the whole point of this is to, during your training, you have a big spike in energy and how much effort you're putting. And in order to counteract that and actually recover, you want to drop below that baseline and bring your heart rate back down so you can have that spike of exercise and then that spike of recovery to balance it off. And I used to just have this spike of exercise and not this downtime of recovery. And it's completely screwed up my recovery. I was listening to the Nick Bear podcast the other day, and he said something which really dramatically changed me. He said how eating and fueling is more important than the actual training itself. And this completely switched my mindset on how I am fueling and eating. I said, oh shoot, if I'm putting in all this work to train and I'm not maximizing my fueling and I'm not doing everything that I can to get carbs in before my workouts, get carbs in the night before my workouts, get carbs in after my workouts, I'm just shooting myself in the foot because yes, that is very difficult and that's the annoying part, but sometimes it can be fun too. But I now understand the importance of, dude, if I'm not fueling my body correctly with a bunch of carbs throughout my day, I'm not going to be able to push as hard as I can, especially on my tempo and long runs, which isn't going to get me out of my comfort zone, which then in turn won't force me to grow. Yodi. It is lunchtime, baby. And this is honestly one of my favorite freaking meals out there. I eat it almost every day for like the past 8 months, 9 months or something like that. It is ground beef and rice with an absurd amount of garlic, salt, and pepper, and a little bit of hot sauce on there. When I fuel, I don't only think about carbs. I think about calories. And the reason why I love calories, because I understand that in order to achieve my 100-mile goal, I need the fuel. And fuel for me and most people, I'm sure there's some exception out there, really comes in the form of calories, fats, and carbs. I don't really care about fats because that's kind of the walking fuel that would be used there. But during running, a lot of the fuel that you're using is carbs. And calories are like this overarching fuel source where if you are burning more calories than you're eating, you're just going to underperform and under-recover and underperform and under-recover almost every single time. I can think back to when I've been in a calorie surplus versus when I've been in a calorie deficit. And yes, I do put on fat during calorie surplus times, but I perform so much better when I'm in a calorie surplus because my body has the fuel. And honestly, I think it's worth it because right now I'm 172 pounds and I like the way I look, I feel, and I perform the best when I am in a small calorie surplus, slowly but surely gaining a little bit of weight, at minimum making sure I don't lose weight.
I'm not a joyride, a hit and run. I thought I loved you and you thought I was fun. I'm moving on down the road. Watch me as I go, watch me as I go.
Alright, just flicking off the oven here. I normally don't cook dinner. My mother does, but she has parent-teacher conferences tonight, so she tasked me with cooking dinner, and she already had a meal planned of pork, purple cabbage, and green onion. I do at night try and get a lot of carbohydrates in. This isn't my last meal of the day. I'll have my late night snack later, but it's my last big meal, and since this week's a cutback week and tomorrow isn't a monster workout, I'm not going to really worry too much about the carbs, which the rice is cooking over there to put all this deliciousness on. But on like heavier workout days, I will make sure I eat a lot of carbs to refuel my system, like especially if it's a Saturday into a Sunday, long run into long run. I will make sure that dinner is heavy on carbs, maybe 100 to 200 grams of carbs, because I know my body needs that to perform the best it can the next day, and also not to get injured, because if I'm running on low fuel, I guarantee you that risk of injury is a lot higher, which is honestly my biggest fear right now, because running supports my mental health and emotional health and all that, especially during this transition to college, and it's the thing that's kind of just keeping me afloat as a human being, and an injury right now would really suck. So game plan for tonight, normal amount of rice, normal amount of beef. I do have work, so this is my last meal before my late night snack later, which we'll see what we're eating, because like I said, tomorrow's workout isn't that big and I'm kind of full right now from lunch. Okay, it is a little past 9-ish right now, 9:15. I just got home from work. My late night snack isn't necessarily a late night snack. It's more of a late night drink. Tomorrow is not a big workout, so I'm not too worried about the amount of carbs I am consuming. And this is more of a comfort food because I'm kind of in like a high stress mode for me, because what really is my deepest desire is community right now. And when I'm transitioning from high school to college,
which that's kind of hard to come by because all my old friends have left. And I'm working it out, I'm figuring out, yes. But this is kind of just a nice comfort food to help me relax and go to sleep so I can really get some good sleep in for tomorrow. I do want to transition into eating cereal before I go to bed. I heard this from Nick Bear and it really seems like a great idea to get 60 to 90 grams of carbs in before you go to bed. So days where you have big workouts the next day at like on long run days or tempo run days, you'll have those carbs sitting in your system to fuel you for that run. And remember, boys, our ultimate goal is to support not the people who want to change, it is the people who are actively making the change. And if you have made that switch in your life or you've hit that low point and you need a little bit of guidance and a little bit of help to get you through this rough time, and you've made that switch in your mind, make sure to click that first link in the description because I will help you achieve not only your mental health and emotional health goals, which I think I can give you a big step up on, but also your physical and even just any life goals, because I went from that one kid who was struggling, not being able to sleep at night, all those anxious thoughts running through my mind, not having a way to sever through them, to now a kid. This is a difficult time of life for me, really is, with transitioning from high school to college. Friends are hard to come by and it is a hard time for sure, but I have this foundation built and I know everything's going to be okay and come to fruition because I control that, God controls that, and this mindset I can give to you. I'm firmly confident that I can help you get at least closer. So make sure you click that first link in the description if you want to make that change from the more hopeless side of things to the more ambitious, focused, and clear-headed side of things. Alright, boys, love you. Good night. Cheers to the milk. It's so good.